hard living this life.
No, it really is. So I just got a text from my wife. She's it's a text to me and her mom. She said, I'm divorcing Jaceel, mom. A blog has accused him of cheating on me.
Oh.
So I'm done. Like, that's what I'm dealing with in real life. Like, in real life, see what it says? Yep, the girl who used to work for him. So this is what I'm really dealing with. And that's I'm gonna be as transparent as I could be, because this is what happens when you play like this. You play on people's lives, you play on whatever they may be dealing with, and they have to deal with real circumstances. So this is what I'm dealing with this morning. Yeah.
They say every love story starts with a spark, but sometimes that same spark burns everything down. For Yung Joc and Kendra Robinson, their love once looked uncheckable. A power couple who had it all: fame, money, and the kind of chemistry that made fans believe in second chances. But behind the filters, behind the smiles,
because as a man, guess what? I got to stand on mine too. Because guess what? Let me tell you something. I didn't go to college. Guess what?
Fine.
I want my kids to go to college. So we can say that right now. I don't want them to go that direction. I want them to go to college. I can say that with you too.
Right.
But don't sit here in front of the world, in front of a medium, and say, oh, I wouldn't want my son or your sons to be like you. Hold on. No, you gonna put some respect on my name, because at the end of the day, I'm successful. I take care of my kids.
Okay.
Ain't none of my kids out here in dire need of love and support. So we're gonna do that, okay? Because I don't appreciate that. Because there's some things about you that I could say I wouldn't want my daughters to do.
Go ahead.
I'm not gonna do
me.
that. I respect you and I love you enough.
I want this magazine to know
no. I
what
respect
it is about
integrity.
me. You don't want your daughters.
I'm not gonna do that.
Like,
I'm not gonna do that.
Be my guest.
I'm not
gonna be
that.
slighted, honey.
I'm not gonna do that. That's where we have to draw the line.
there was pain, simmering pain, that neither of them could keep hiding forever. And now, that fairy tale has come crashing down. Joc has finally reached his breaking point, and this time, he's done for good. Reports are swirling that he threw Kendra out, ended the marriage, and said he's finished trying to make something work that's been broken for a long time. But what really happened? What went down behind closed doors that made Yung Joc say enough is enough? Let's get into the real story, the drama, the betrayal, and the heartbreak that tore their marriage apart. Before everything fell apart, Yung Joc was more than just a rapper from Atlanta. He was a symbol of hustle and reinvention. The man behind the hit It's Going Down became one of love and hip-hop Atlanta's most entertaining personalities. Fans loved his humor.
Well, Jaceel and I have been in this for a real long time. So, and it's a lot of stuff like you guys are seeing this season where, the whole world wasn't privy to, some of the stuff that Jaceel and I was going through, like, or the times we separated or that we were broke up. Even while we were engaged or even while I was still wearing my ring, we had moments where it just was like not happening. But and things happened during those times when we weren't together.
His southern charm and his honesty, even when it came to his complicated love life. He wasn't shy about his past date kids with 4 different women, and he wore his mistakes like battle scars. But when Kendra Robinson came into the picture, something changed. She wasn't like the others. She was grounded, focused, and determined to build her own legacy. A successful attorney with her own law firm, Kendra had no interest in being just another reality TV love interest. She wanted to make a name for herself, and somehow, Joc saw that as the very thing that drew him in. Their story started like a plot straight from a TV script. Kendra was cautious at first, aware of Joc's reputation and the chaos that surrounded him. But Joc was persistent. He pursued her with patience and humor, promising that he was ready to be the man she needed. For a while, it seemed to work. They found balance. Her career-driven energy matched his laid-back, charismatic vibe. They laughed together.
I don't have to give no explanations to no goddamn body. If you understand, you understand.
Nah, what are you talking about? Like,
that's
how
what it is.
insensitive is that? You
That's
so
not
goddamn
insensitive.
big-headed and arrogant. You around here creating babies all over the globe, dropping them off household to household.
All over
you
the globe? What are you
ignorant
talking
enough to not actually be able to tell my mama, tell my brother? You should answer them.
I will talk to whoever when I'm ready.
They built a life, and in 2021, they made it official with a lavish wedding that fans couldn't stop talking about. The world cheered them on. calling them love and hip-hop's real success story. But if you looked close enough, even back then, you could see the tension bubbling beneath the surface. Kendra had always made it clear. She wanted stability, she wanted loyalty, and she wanted to be respected, not controlled. Joc, on the other hand, was a man used to being the center of attention. The differences that once made them magnetic slowly became the very things tearing them apart. It wasn't long before the cracks started to show. Rumors of infidelity followed Joc everywhere, and though he denied most of them, the whispers never stopped. Kendra tried to stand by her husband, convincing herself that love could fix what trust had already damaged. But love isn't enough when the foundation is shaky, and Joc's lifestyle was the earthquake that kept shaking everything they tried to build. Things reached a new level when the topic of children came up. Joc wanted to expand their family. He felt it was a natural next step away to solidify their love and create something lasting together. But for Kendra, it wasn't that simple. She had spent years building her career, carving out her identity, and wasn't ready to sacrifice that. She told Joc she wanted to freeze her eggs plan for the future on her own timeline.
So like after we made our vows to move forward, that we won't even bring any of this up.
I didn't bring it up. People bringing it up to me.
To her, it was a responsible choice. But to Joc, it felt like rejection. He took it personally, as if she was preparing for a future that didn't include him. When he heard her say she wasn't ready to have his child, something inside him shifted. He later confessed that her words hit him like a punch to the chest. To him, it meant she didn't trust the future they were supposed to be building together. And here's where the twist begins. Joc, already sensitive about his image as a father and husband, started pulling away emotionally. The laughter they once shared turned into silence. The couple, who once couldn't stop posting each other online, suddenly became distant. Kendra focused more on her work, while Joc threw himself into his businesses and television appearances. When they were together, it was tense. Conversations turned into arguments, and arguments turned into full-blown fights. Friends close to the couple said the energy in their home shifted. Joc felt unappreciated, like he was being pushed out of his own marriage. Kendra, on the other hand, felt misunderstood. She believed Joc didn't respect her choices as a woman. The very independence that once drew him in now made him feel shut out. Then came the breaking point. One night, after another heated argument about their future, Joc allegedly told Kendra to pack her things and leave. Those who know Joc say it wasn't a dramatic outburst, it was quiet, calm, and final. He was done. Done begging for understanding, done trying to force a future that no longer felt real. Kendra didn't fight it. She gathered her things and walked out, leaving behind not just a marriage, but years of emotional investment. The couple that fans thought would last forever had reached the end of the road. But here's what nobody expected. Joc didn't hold back when he spoke about it later. He admitted the situation broke him, but he also said he couldn't live a lie any longer. He talked about how painful it was to feel unwanted, to feel like the person he married didn't see the same future he did. He said, "When someone tells you they don't want to build a family with you, it's like they're saying they don't believe in what you have." And that's when people started realizing this wasn't just about kids. It was about feeling seen, feeling loved, feeling like a team. Joc wanted a partnership that mirrored his values. Kendra wanted independence that protected hers. And somewhere along the line, those two visions stopped aligning. The fallout was brutal. On social media, fans split into two camps. Some supported Joc, saying he deserved a wife who wanted to grow a family with him. Others defended Kendra, calling her decision empowering, not selfish. Why should she give up her dreams for him? One fan tweeted, "She worked hard to be pressured into motherhood." But another wrote, "Marriage is about building together. If you can't share that vision, it's doomed." It became a debate about modern relationships, gender roles, and the expectations that still weigh heavy on both men and women. And in the middle of it all stood Joc and Kendra, two people who loved each other deeply, but couldn't love each other right. Sources close to Joc said he struggled in the weeks after their split. Despite his confident public image, Those who know him say he was heartbroken. He tried to distract himself with work and his kids, but the pain lingered. He had dreamed of building something lasting with Kendra, something different from his past relationships. For once, he wanted to get it right, and realizing that he couldn't was devastating. Meanwhile, Kendra doubled down on her career, throwing herself into her cases and community work. Her social media presence became more polished, more distant. She smiled for the cameras, but fans noticed her energy had changed. Behind that confidence was a woman who had loved deeply and lost something she never thought she would. What made their breakup even more emotional was how much they'd both sacrificed to make the marriage work. Joc had tried to become more disciplined, more faithful. Kendra had tried to be more patient, more understanding. But when love turns into a constant battle to prove who's right and who's wrong, it stops feeling like love. It becomes survival, and both of them were tired of surviving. Kendra's friends say she cried for weeks after leaving, not because she regretted it, but because she knew she had to let go of the person she once believed was her soulmate. Joc, on the other hand, has been open about the emotional toll. He said in one interview, "Sometimes love ain't enough. You can want it, fight for it, pray for it, but if it's not meant to work, it won't." This isn't just a story about a breakup, it's about the people caught between love and identity. Joc represents a man who's lived his life in the public eye, trying to rebuild after every fall. Kendra represents the modern woman fighting to keep her individuality even inside marriage. Their love was real, but so were their differences. And when those differences became walls instead of bridges, there was no turning back. Joc throwing Kendra out wasn't just an angry reaction, it was the final act of surrender. The moment he accepted that the woman he loved no longer wanted the same future, he did. In the aftermath, both of them have been redefining themselves. Joc is back in the studio, focusing on music and his children. He's been using his platform to talk about growth, manhood, and accountability. He's even said he's not bitter, just wiser. "I learned that peace is more important than pride," he told fans. You can't force someone to see your vision. Sometimes walking away is the only way to protect your soul. Kendra, meanwhile, has become an inspiration to women who choose themselves after heartbreak. She's been speaking openly about boundaries, career goals, and not letting relationships define your worth. Her message is simple. You can love someone and still choose yourself. And maybe that's the real lesson here. Love isn't always enough. Sometimes, two good people can love each other and still not be right for one another. Joc and Kendra's story reminds us that relationships are about alignment, shared values, timing, and mutual understanding. Without those things, even the deepest love can fade. What started as a dream turned into a storm, and when the dust settled, they were both standing alone, but stronger in their own ways. As fans, it's easy to take sides. Some say Joc had every right to end it, that his desire for a family was valid. Others say Kendra was right to prioritize her ambitions and set boundaries. But maybe the truth is somewhere in between. Maybe they were both right and both wrong. They tried to blend two worlds that were never meant to merge. Joc, the entertainer with a complicated past and a big heart, and Kendra, the disciplined professional with clear goals. Their marriage was a collision of love and reality won. In the end, Yung Joc's decision to end his marriage and throw Kendra out wasn't about spite. It was about finally letting go of a version of love that no longer fit either of them. He wanted peace, she wanted freedom, and sometimes, the hardest part of love is knowing when to walk away. Whether you side with Joc or Kendra, one thing's undeniable: their story is raw, real, and painfully human. It's a reminder that even when love looks perfect from the outside, nobody really knows what's going on behind closed doors. So what do you think? Was Joc right to call it quits? Or should they have fought harder to save what they had? Either way, their breakup will go down as one of love and hip-hop's most emotional and talked about endings. Because at the end of the day, behind the fame, the lights, and the headlines, they were just a people trying and failing to love each other the best way they knew how. And maybe, just maybe, that's what makes their story so heartbreakingly real. Love doesn't always end with hate, sometimes it ends with acceptance. Yung Joc and Kendra's journey showed that even the strongest connections can unravel when growth pulls to hearts in different directions. They both walked away with lessons, not losses. Joc found clarity in peace, while Kendra discovered power in independence. Their story reminds us that endings aren't failures. They're redirections toward healing and self-worth. When love fades, strength begins. So, before judging either of them, remember, sometimes the bravest thing two people can do is let go and choose peace over pain.